Alrighty, I am a little bit sick. That is why I have not made a video recently. But there are two videos that I wanted to make. The first one is I wanted to go over this spawn. I know that there are only 4 days left, so I'm kind of a little bit late for making this video, but I wanted to go over it still. So the procs are these flickering time procs. They ignore 50% of the target's defense and magic defense. I remember when these types of procs first came out, and I did a lot of testing with them because I thought that they would be super overpowered. It turns out that they are not, or at least they were not at the time, super overpowered. Things may have changed. I don't have really any of these types of procs anymore, just to be honest. But when they first came out, they were pretty garbage. So this, don't expect anything, especially in PvP. I think if you see the damage anywhere, it would be against really difficult quests. Um, and then we have increased damage when using a physical or magical ability. That's good. It's like 22.5%. That's good. Increases crit chance by 10%, which is super confusing. I don't know why it wouldn't just guarantee a crit. And then scales to 3 pieces of time gear at 7XL plus and procs on XL. Overall, this proc, in my opinion, is pretty shit. It's pretty bad because you're missing cost gain, you're missing uni gain, you're missing success value up. You're not penetrating anything, damage reduction, damage nullification. It doesn't fit anywhere really well. The only thing that's kind of nice is that it scales off of time, so it's pretty easy to get 3 of. But other than that, I don't think it's a super good proc. Now, for free to play players or for early game players, this is excellent. You could probably use this for a while. So I'd say for free to play and new players, it's like an 8 out of 10. For really long term players or specific types of players, like for PvE, it's probably a 5 or a 6 out of 10. And then for PvP, it's probably the same, like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. And then for guild battles, it depends. But I'd probably say for guild battles, it's a 3 out of 10. And the only reason I say 3 out of 10 is because there are situations in guild battles when you're attacking the crystal and you don't have full cost or full uni. And having procs that give you cost, give you uni, are super valuable to guarantee that you can clash properly. So the damage is good, but the problem is that reliability for clashes is lacking, in my opinion. Now, all of these come with this type of proc. It's a Unison prevention and chipped blade secondary on them. Now, this is a pretty good weapon ability. This is probably one of the best PvP or guild battle weapon abilities in the entire game. The reason is because chipped blade is super, super valuable right now. You can't avoid it. It's like a debuff. It's like somebody applying minus, defense down to you. You can't avoid it. There's no resistance to this. So it's really valuable. And it makes sure that your defensive procs actually go off. So in something like Guild Battle, this is super valuable. This is like a 9 out of 10 weapon ability. Super, super, super valuable. You're not feeding with this ability unless the enemies proc a Unison Gauge gain defense proc. So you shouldn't be feeding Unison to them. And the chipped blade itself is what you're using it for. You're mainly using this on like Zerkers or ninjas or some other class that will attack you and instantly kill whoever they're attacking unless they have chipped blade. So yeah, this is excellent. In something like PvE, this is nothing. So this is purely a PvP, purely a guild battle type of weapon ability, but it is really good. Now the main reason why we're here are these, the Ancient Guard XXLs. You can get two of them. So if you get one of them and you're wondering what you should get, you should probably get a second one, would be my guess. Would be what I would suggest. Now, if you get two of them, you should equip both of them because they account for a specific type of constant called a defense constant. And what they do is they reduce the damage taken by 17.5%, and they stack. So what would that be, like 35%? Now, if this is similar to a different type of damage reduction proc, I don't think that this is a pure percent. Now, I could be wrong about it, but the way that they use English and translate is really, really bad. So there's not a great distinction between damage reduction and the way that pure damage down works. Let me show you. There's a similar proc or a similar concept that's really old that, oops. I wonder what its wording is. Yeah, see, reduces physical damage taken by S. It has the exact same wording, and I've done a lot of testing with this. It doesn't, as far as I know, as far as testing is concerned, it doesn't reduce the damage, or it didn't, like a few years ago. It didn't reduce damage when people were penetrating damage reduction. Now, this proc is a little bit different, so maybe it does. It reduces all incoming damage, but I'm not sure. I'm just telling you based on similar wording. And it also doesn't protect you against unisons that penetrate damage reduction and damage reflection. Now, that's not to say that it hasn't changed. Maybe it has. And this is a different proc, so maybe this is just a totally different situation. But in the past, that's kind of what they've done, even with the same typing. And then increases status ailment resistance by S plus is fantastic. Hey, Cinnamon. How are you doing? Because you can get two of these, and again, that's what, like 35%, which is, it's not a whole lot, but the more status ailment resistance you have, the better in most cases for most people. So, for example, free to play players will often get hit with status ailments, and that's bad. Like insanity, rejection, frozen, scorching, all of them can be really oppressive. So having pure status ailment resistance is really, really good. Even in stuff like guild battles, the things that you might not consider usually would be or could be really, really good, like blind resistance or prohibit unison resistance. Those can all be very, very valuable. So I would recommend this for free-to-play players, for long-term players. Am I going to get it? Probably not, because I am completely out of gems and money. But that doesn't mean that it's not good. And I was trying to find it. I think they released something very, very similar to this recently, but I can't find the proc. So I wouldn't be surprised if there weren't some other procs that came out similar to this. I don't know if that means that it'll be identical, or if it's going to replace the second part, the status ailment resistance, with something else. But it is something that's interesting. I could have sworn that something came out, but I couldn't find anything on Limapedia and I couldn't find anything on the old notices. And it seems like nobody is saving old um, old spawns. So I couldn't find it. But I could have sworn that it was like there was other stuff that came out similar to this. Um, so yeah, and now how expensive is it? I honestly am not sure. Let's do the math real fast. So you getting like what 100, assuming that you get 150 per spawn, and it is 75 total. Three times 150 is what, like 450. So you're getting, we'll just call it like 400, because often you don't even get 150, and you need 3,600. So what is that? 3,600 divided by 400 is 9. Yeah, 9. And then, so you'd need to run it 9 times, 75 times 9. 300, let's see, 75, 150, 300, 600, 675. So probably around 675 gems total to get a guaranteed one. And that's a lot of gems for me. I do not have the amount of gems to get that right now, so I think I'll pass on this one. But I could have sworn there was something similar to this. Um, anyway, I do like this a lot. I would say this spawn overall for new players is a little bit too expensive. Um, so I'm not going to spawn on my new player either. Um, but I think for long term players, or for PvP specific players that missed out on the water raging procs, the tiger procs, those the tiger procs also had the flickering um, weapon abilities. I think it could be really valuable. Really, the main reason why you're running this is for these constants. So once you get two of the constants, I would probably stop. Um, that's what I would do. But if you're really going all in on this, it is a pretty good spawn, and I do recommend this spawn for long-term players, or for players who really want this type of defense constants. They are really good. So, yep, I will catch you guys later.